Relationship advice. Updated. Manipulative girlfriend, 29 female, was pressuring me, 29 male, to adopt a baby. Background. My girlfriend, we'll call Megan, and I have been dating for the past 6 months. It's by far the happiest relationship either of us have ever had. Initially, I pushed back when she suggested moving in together, but we got a place together in February. I'm incredibly happy with the decision, and we're very grateful to have each other right now. The past several weeks at home have been an unexpected blessing for me. As a freelance graphic designer, I continue working remotely and also finally have time to work on a passion project I've been putting off for years, a large paper sculpture. Megan feels lost. She poured everything into her career and quickly advanced to head manager at an upscale resort. The coronavirus has furloughed her, leaving her without a job for the first time since she was 14. She says every day feels painfully empty, and I feel guilty that this has been so hard for her and easy for me. On to the issue. A week ago, Megan said she had news she thought would excite me. She proposed that start trying to get pregnant. She feels now's the perfect time because everything is so monotonous, and a baby would be wonderful to look forward to. I was pretty shocked by this because kids have come up multiple times in our relationship, and we had always agreed that neither of us would ever want them. She says that her priorities have shifted, given everything that's going on. I was starting to empathize with this major change in priorities, but then she added that when the lockdown is over, she plans to return immediately to her 80-hour-per-week work schedule. At this point, she'd want me to take on the bulk of parenting responsibilities because my job is more flexible. This upset me, and I told her that this might not be a good idea. She suggested that my reluctance might just be a symptom of my commitment issues, which have caused problems in previous relationships. She pointed out that I had second thoughts about moving in together, but that turned out to be a great decision. Working on my sculpting project has been so fulfilling, and I worry that a child might interfere. Megan says I need to consider her needs too. I'm sincerely trying, but I'm at a loss as to how we can balance both our needs. She would no doubt make an amazing mother because she's extremely dedicated to anything she sets her mind to. I want her to be happy, but I don't want to make a decision I might regret. Am I letting my fear of commitment hold me back? Now for the top advice before reading the first update. Does Megan know how to make a baby? Does she know they don't come out right away? Follow-up question. Does Megan know that after quarantine ends, there will still be a baby? Horrendous idea. You've been together 6 months. The idea is coming out of boredom and lack of direction, not an actual well-thought-out plan and care. Neither of you are ready for this. Most gyno offices are actively warning people against getting pregnant right now. There's so much unknown. Partners aren't allowed into sonogram appointments. Women are giving birth without their partner. Babies are being put in quarantine. Parents can see their babies after birth. Is this really what you want to face with your new girlfriend because she's feeling a bit lost? This is a rough time in all of us. Having a baby in reaction to that, especially in your scenario, is a monumentally terrible idea. I appreciate your thoughtful comment. The lack of medical support is something we have talked about and take seriously. How flipping seriously could you be taking it if you're entertaining the idea of having a child that you don't really want under those medical conditions just so your girlfriend will feel less bored? How is this even something you're considering at all in any way, shape, or form? I wouldn't say that your commitment issues are the problem. The emotional manipulation on her part is a huge red flag though. The lockdown could last a long time, but she could be back at work in a month or two. So what then? This is a seriously irrational decision and not one that should be decided in one day because she's bored. I don't want to make it seem like she's manipulative because she's a great partner and we communicate well. Not sure where you're located, but we're in the US, and projections are that the hospitality industry is going to take a long time to even start to recover. Now for the first update. A month ago, we found out it's a boy. My girlfriend was devastated because she's always imagined raising a strong and confident girl. I tried to comfort her by suggesting we try again after this pregnancy, but she didn't like the idea of getting pregnant again so soon. After a few days, she concluded that adoption would be a better solution. She says she's really happy about this decision because it guarantees us a girl, and it allows us to start the adoption process while she's still out of work. I'm excited to become a father, but 2 newborns feels overwhelming. That said, throughout our relationship, my fear of commitment has always created problems. I was reluctant at first to move in with Megan or to try for a baby, but she inspired me to face my fears, and she ended up being 100% right. I love her passion and enthusiasm, and I know that she's going to be an amazing mother because she can do anything she sets her mind to. How can I approach this adoption decision rationally instead of letting my fear of commitment cloud my judgment? I want to have a mature conversation with Megan that communicates my fears while prioritizing our family. I remember your last post. This is terrifying. Your girlfriend didn't help you overcome commitment fears. She manipulated you into moving in together after just 12 weeks of dating, manipulated you into thinking having a baby to break the monotony of quarantine was a good idea. It is a terrible idea. And is now trying to manipulate you into adopting because she doesn't want a boy. How do you not see how manipulative and crazy she is? She's bored in quarantine, so she thought having a baby was a good idea? She wants to put herself and a baby at risk by having to be in doctor's offices, the hospital, etc. She thinks 2 infants is a good idea? My dude, I'm very worried for you. This woman is totally irrational, and you don't see it. Dude's pretty stupid and careless if he already creates a baby with someone he only lived together for 3 months. It's my understanding that newborn babies are the most sought-after age group and in high demand. You two are not married. You've only been together a year. This is your first baby. I don't think a reputable adoption agency would even entertain your application. Especially for the reason, could you imagine? Social worker. Okay, I see you two are expecting a baby already. What brought you to adoption as well? Did you want twins or something? Them. Well, the problem is she's growing a boy, and well, gee, we just really wanted a girl. WTF? Okay, they probably won't allow Get to adopt while pregnant. This is probably hormones talking. How sad for your son that she's barely interested and really wants to replace him. But like I said, it's probably fear and hormones talking. When she sees her son, hopefully her whole view of the world will change and be beautiful. Also, maybe have a counselor lined up and ready to go. I'm worried about postpartum depression hitting since she has this preconceived notion of what she wants. Actual life may hit pretty hard. Edit. I read your previous post. This girl sounds incredibly manipulative. Oh lord. Reading his last post knowing that she actually convinced him to get her pregnant is so eerie. Now for the final update. My girlfriend Megan had her heart set on adopting a baby girl, and I was trying to be considerate of her needs. I somehow saw a strong future with her despite all the crap I now recognize as manipulation. Last week, she told me that she decided on a name for the baby, Jessica. And all of a sudden, it hit me. Yes, she used the word decided. She never even considered that I should have any say whatsoever. I thought back to all the comments in my previous post telling me that Megan was manipulating me, steamrolling me, and gaslighting me whenever I needed my voice to be heard. Once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. 2 days after the baby name decision, I told Megan I was leaving and moved back home with my parents several hours away. Megan won't stop sending me angry, manipulative voicemails and texts. After the first few messages where I clearly stated my boundaries, I've chosen not to respond. It's just so toxic. An enormous weight has been lifted from me. I can finally focus on myself, and that's been so good for me. It was hard for me to hear RA's advice in my last post, but I can now say that I sincerely appreciate it. Now for closing comments. Good job, but she's still having your actual kid, and that means you are not done with her crap. Her being a psycho as she is, I doubt it's his kid. She sounds like the type who decided on someone to strap down for cash. Then she decided someone else would be better to give her a child. Despite all her faults, Megan is very hardworking and has made a successful career for herself, so I don't think it's money. If she was going for a rich guy, I don't think she would have picked me. Also, we've been quarantining rigorously since March, so it's basically impossible that she cheated. I work from home and she's out of work, so we've been in the same house pretty much 24/7. I think you're correct here that it wasn't about money. It was just about having someone around to fulfill whatever her wishes and desires were. Live-in partner after 3 months? Done. Try for a baby out of boredom after 6 months? Done. I'm really proud of you for stopping this before getting into an adoption together and taking yourself home. All of us here support you. But like everyone is saying, you cannot use being overwhelmed as an excuse not to lawyer up right now. It's like getting into a car accident and going, I'm in too much pain to deal with calling an ambulance and getting to a hospital. All that does is make things harder and more overwhelming later on. Ask your parents to sit down and do it with you if they're willing. But do not wait on this, friend. Good luck. Bro, what are you doing? I remember your last post, and man, you need to work on not being a pushover. She completely bodied you into 2 kids after living together for, what was it, 8 to 10 months? As horrible as human being as she is, why did you bend to that? Lawyer up, get paternity test, and freaking learn from this. I still remember the idea you pushed off confronting your fears. That made me cringe. Being committed and having 2 newborns isn't confronting anything. You need to do some serious soul searching too, my guy. It's a tough pill to swallow, but she absolutely punked you after dating for 12 months. Both of y'all have issues to work on. Good luck, my man. Thank freaking God, dude. I just started from the beginning and wanted to slap you several times. Really glad you're starting to see how flipping crazy this relationship is. Said there is now a child involved, but better you guys break up now than later. Now for the next story. I, 35 male, deeply regret manipulating my wife, female 34, into having children. I know it sounds bad, and I know we're not supposed to talk like this, but the biggest regret I have is having children. Our lives are ruined because of me, and I don't know where to go from here. My wife and I have been together 12 years, married 6. We have 2 kids, 2 female twins. We had agreed to be child-free very early on, but as we were getting closer to 30, I just became obsessed with the idea of having children. We were engaged, and I told her that I would not marry her unless we had at least 1 child. We broke up for a bit, but we found our way back to each other, and she agreed to one. She agreed under certain conditions, the main one being that she didn't want to stay home with a child for any more time than it took her to heal. She had an amazing job that she absolutely loved, worked very hard to get, and was extremely well paid. I had a job that I also loved, but was not well paid. I'm in a field where there is a huge income disparity depending on what you do. I got to do what I loved because her job more than compensated financially. We had an amazing life and amazing relationship. We travel a lot in our country and internationally. We are both outdoorsy and active people, and we take camping / hiking / rock climbing vacations regularly. We make love a lot. Tons of free income, a lot of financial security, and I messed it all up. My wife ended up pregnant with twins. They messed up the epidural, they messed up the C-section, and she had an extremely traumatic birth experience. Now almost 2 years down the line, she struggles with chronic pain and extreme postpartum depression. She can't work at all, not her job and not any other job. She can barely walk more than half an hour at a time without pain, and her mental state means that she absolutely shouldn't be responsible for patients. She went from a high-powered position to laying in bed and crying all day. I honestly don't think there's been a day since the birth that she hasn't cried. We haven't been intimate in more than 2 years. My mom moved in with us to help raise the kids, and she's old school and doesn't believe in mental health. She's not the nicest to my wife, and they're alone all day. There is no one else we can ask, and we can't afford other help. She's in therapy, she's on medication, we've seen all the doctors we can see. I went from low-stress job I loved to a higher-paying one I hate. I work 12-plus hours days and even weekends sometimes, and we are still struggling. I miss my old life so much. I miss my work and my friends, and above all, I so desperately miss my wife. Our children are being raised by my mom primarily. I spend as much time as I can with them, but I barely know them. I don't know what I was looking for when I wanted kids, but it certainly wasn't this. I don't blame them for anything, but I have a hard time bonding with them. My wife spends most of her time in our room and interacts with them when I'm there or during therapy. I don't think we're doing a good job with them. They're well cared for by my mom, well fed, happy and safe, but I don't think we are as involved as parents should be. I'm struggling and seeing a way out. Therapy is helping, but the progress is so slow. I don't really know what more to do right now. I feel so much hatred for myself. We had such a good life. It all went down the drain. And in the end, my wife is ruined physically and mentally for something she didn't even want in the first place. I'm not sure what advice I'm asking for. I'm not sure what else there is to do here. But if anyone has anything to offer, even nice words, it would be appreciated. All our friends distance themselves, and we literally have no one but each other. Now for the top advice. She's old school and doesn't believe in mental health. She's not the nicest to my wife, and they're alone all day. There is no one else we can ask, and we can't afford other help. She's in therapy, she's on medication. We've seen all the doctors we can see. Figure out a way for your wife to get different support. Example, an au pair, a mother's help. Any support is better than a toxic mother-in-law who doesn't believe in mental health and puts your wife down. Therapy is helping, but the progress is so slow. Joining a support group might help too. You aren't alone. There are quite a number of people who regret having kids. Your mother is likely part of the reason your wife is having a hard time recovering. How can your wife possibly recover if she has someone around all the time who is A, raising her kids, presumably making her feel inadequate as a mom, and B, someone who presumably makes her feel even more like that by invalidating her feelings and experiences? You say you have no other options, but you have to try to find one. Get your mom out of the house ASAP. I'm struggling and seeing a way out. There is your issue right there. You were looking for a way out when there isn't one. You struggle through this, not look to run away. Keep doing what you are doing with the therapy and keep working towards being better parents. Ditch your mom and figure out something else if she can't be supportive. It's extreme, but maybe there is a way out through giving a family member temporary guardianship or even adopting them out. For the kids' sake, they don't really have parents as it is. I think Opie is reaping what he sowed, but at the kids' expense. If they won't do that, they need to severely downgrade everything and hire help. He should see if his bank can give him financial advice. At least there would be a chance for mom to start recovering after the terrible mother-in-law is gone. Does she even want to stay married to you, or would she rather divorce you and live a life alone, seeing the twins part-time? What does she want? What does your wife need now? She is very important here. With just your income alone, plus your wife's new disability status, you might qualify for state-supported childcare. You are very strong against your wife. Be equally strong against your mom. Give her the same ultimatum. Talk to her firmly and tell her that you won't be her son, and she will have no grandkids if she cannot treat your wife kindly. Does your mom know what you have costed her daughter-in-law? Your wife cannot possibly heal with your mom there. Agree 100% with this comment. The wife's wishes need to come first, and if she wants a divorce, that needs to happen. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.